I know
Gotta
that.
go faster, faster, I can do the whole
I have
song.
no idea how that song goes. Besides,
Rolling
it
at
goes
the speed of
fast.
sound. Kicked his hedgehog around. Got ourselves a situation. It's time for the Nerf Nation.
That works.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nerfcast. This is Josh,
And this is Shawn.
who knows all of the Sonic tunes ever.
Well, they're all really good. Let's be honest here. Like, Sega messed up on a lot of stuff. Music for Sonic was always awesome.
Sure.
So, focusing back on topic. So, today we're going to be taking a step back. We've talked about how to run games, but we wanted to take a look at from the player's perspective. When you're a new player just getting into the sport, what you're looking to do, what kind of blasters you're looking to do, just basically an introduction for new people to Nerf.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've noticed there's a lot of, I don't want to say mistakes, but trial and error that we've gone through, and we've both gone through the same things, and it's like, we could have saved ourselves some hassle, some pains, just by...
Well, I mean, I didn't. I was perfect.
He was
So, I
perfect.
remember my first day I bought a Nerf blaster. I got the right one.
Yep.
Went to a party, dominated.
He took it home, modded it right off the bat, and then just whooped everybody with his amazing Nerf skills.
Yep.
That is
It's
what
what I
happened.
do. I'm kind of a badass.
So, I mean, just starting out, I guess, speaking of blasters, is picking up your first blaster. Because I think we've all been there. I think we've almost all made the same mistake.
I'm going to pause you right there. So,
No.
everyone who's listening right now, I want you to take a moment. We're going to say a blaster that everyone buys first. I want you to say out loud what the name of that blaster you think we're going to say right now. The first one everyone gets. 3, 2, 1.
I do believe in fairies.
Yes. So I bet you, if you're thinking like us, everyone said Maverick.
Yeah. I mean, that was easily the first blaster that I bought because it looks cool, right? Like it's a pistol. You're like, I'm just gonna shoot people with this. I don't want a big gun. I don't know how I'm getting into this. And then you realize it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
There's like nothing. It has like almost no mod potential. I mean, yeah, you can put it on the bottom of things, but really, how many people do I see that run Mavericks in our wars? Now, again, I've seen pictures of people running them in other wars, and I don't know if they're doing that on purpose because they just want to run Mavericks, or B, they just got into it and they just happened to have a Maverick when the picture was taken, Because it just seems like, why would you run a Maverick when you could run a Strife now?
Yeah.
And
I think the problem is just you don't have a lot of knowledge about the sport when you first come into it. So as a newbie, you're looking at it and saying, I need a basic blaster just to get started with. The Maverick, it's a cheap, low price.
Mm-hmm.
It holds multiple shots. So basically from this generation of people who play video games, starting off with a basic 6-shooter seems like a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's not to say that's not a fun blaster, that you can't just sit around and like plink things with it, but in most games, I don't see how it's going to be as fun or as competitive as something that is clip system that you can easily fire quickly and change out magazines and reload fast. And that's something that you probably want to look for in a blaster. When we've tried to bring new people in, we usually show them the Raider, or not the Raider anymore.
When we were first playing, it was like the Raider. Actually, my first time playing, the reason I was jokingly saying I was awesome is Josh showed me what blaster to get initially, and he was like, my recommendation is the Alpha Trooper. Mm-hmm. It's a simple, easy-to-use blaster. It's clip system, so it works well with magazines, and in general, it functions very well.
Yeah, and it comes with a stock 18-round mag. I mean, it's the little
drum.
Little
They don't really
drum.
do as much anymore, but
at the time, it was like, hey, this is cool. You're getting 18 rounds. It's a nice little compact blaster. The priming mechanism is an underbarrel, so it's kind of shotgunny, so everyone sort of feels comfortable when you're holding it. That's one of the things that bugged me about, or not bug me, but are less than ideal on other blasters. Like even the Raiders and Recons and stuff is like either I'm priming at the top, which is kind of for me, or I'm priming on the bottom, but I've got a side-loading magazine, and that kind of bugs. So everybody at that point in time, I was just like, dude, check out the Alpha Trooper. This thing's like, it's great. And everybody I know was kind of like, oh yeah, this is really nice. I was just going to get that pistol. Every time. Again, I mean, not to say don't get one, but if you are, I mean, maybe play around with a friend, see if you're like, really, do I want to spend whatever the price is for one of them new? I mean, if you're at a like a thrift store or something and you find one for $2, sure, pick it up. You know, there's play around with it, see if you like it. But once you go to an actual Nerf event, I tend to think that you're probably going to want something that can get a little bit more distance, a little more firepower, reloads quickly. So things to look at. You know what I mean?
Because as a new player, it helps if you know what to expect when you're going into a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, if you're going to a Nerf war, clip system blasters are great for that because you can switch ammo really quickly.
Right.
I know a lot of people at like human versus zombie games will use all variety of blasters, be it night finders or any other blasters, just because they work well. They're small, they're compact, they're easy to use, they're user friendly. So basically, you have to keep in mind where you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
So if you have, and the easiest way to find out, if you're going with a friend, ask them, hey, what is the feel of this game? What advice do you have for me going into it? Is it better to have a big, bulky blaster? Should I go smaller? You know, is a battery-powered blaster a bad idea because people can hear it?
Yeah, I mean, ask them what they're running, what sort of things they're running, and see, you know, maybe ask them if you could try firing them. That's what we've done to people that are new. We're always like, hey, here's this blaster, try firing this, see what feels comfortable for you. Some people prefer that more, the underbarrel priming mechanism of like the Raider or the Rampage. And other people feel more comfortable with having, you know, just different setups. So,
and also, we've mentioned this before too. Reaching out to the organizers of the event, they'll usually have tips and tricks for you too.
Oh, for sure. They might say, "Hey, yeah, bring a night finder as a side blaster, you know, as a sidearm, because you know we do a lot of stuff that might involve that, or you might need it for this and that." And even then, the night finder, which has one shot, tends to be better than a Maverick, because you can mod it so that it gets better distances. It more easily will fit into a holster or in your pants, even in your pocket. A Maverick is just bulky and huge, and it's really tough to have a holster for it. And when you pull it out, you're kind of like, all right, well, I can shoot not very far. You can do like a penny mod. Some people have put in other springs, but realistically, you're just not getting that range.
Yeah, if I had to make my own personal recommendation, at least at the time of this podcast being recorded, I talk a lot about the Strife and how nice it is. But if you're going for a first blaster, and you don't know what to expect for the game you're going into, the two blasters I'd probably recommend are going with a Retaliator.
Yeah.
And I forgot the second one.
Which one are you thinking of?
The Retaliator and
the Rampage?
Probably the Rampage. I was thinking of a smaller blaster, but for the life of me, I can't remember what it is now.
The Strife? I mean, there's only... Is it Elite?
Only two... Yeah, it's Elite Series, of course.
So, I mean, yeah, there's Strife, Fire Strike, Hailfire, Rampage.
Maybe I was thinking the Strife.
Yeah.
I'm feeling a little bit silly right now. But what's nice about the Retaliator, it's a small, compact blaster. It's easy to carry around. It's a very well-rounded blaster. Very easy to use. It's not optimal. Once you play more Nerf, you might discover there's a different type of blaster that's more your style. But in general, if you're going to a Nerf war, performance is going to be good on it. It works well. It's a clip system blaster.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to humans versus zombies, it's a quiet blaster, it's efficient, gets great distances. That's probably the one issue I have with the Strife, is once you put some trust fires in there, it is going to be making noise.
Right.
So even though it is, in my opinion, probably one of my favorite blasters, it might not be good for that situation.
Yeah, and do also realize we're talking about like stock. You're buying your first blaster stock. You know, we're not saying like, oh, this is great to mod or that's great to mod or one way or the other, but stock ranges that you're going to get, obviously on the Elite Series, are going to be better than most everything else. So, yeah, you might like the look of the Long Strike, but are you really going to get the distances? Probably not. It's a clip system blaster, and if you want to get it, that's cool. But we're just trying to like, optimal setup. Honestly, Retaliator is what I tell most people to go with. I'd have them test out that in the Rampage, because some people just really like the slam fire underbarrel.
Here's the issue with that, though. I notice when we have a lot of new players, the slam fire is a tricky concept to master.
Yeah.
Because it seems when you're explaining to them, it's like, oh, hold down the trigger, just prime it, and every time it deprimes, it'll shoot out a bullet for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great, but a lot of times people aren't fully cocking it back, not cocking it all the way forward. They're getting double feeds, they're getting bent darts.
I've seen that a lot with the Rampage for some reason.
Even people who have played Nerf before,
Yeah.
if they take a break and they came in and started playing with the Elite Series, they've been having this problem too.
Yeah,
And I don't think it's necessarily the Rampage's fault, because other than that, when I see people who run them regularly and they work just fine.
Yeah.
But I think it breaks down to just they're tricky to first use.
Yeah.
If you're, because it's just such a big range for cocking it, as opposed to Retaliator, since it is over the top, which I agree with Josh is a little bit cumbersome to do.
Yeah.
To kind of load it like that, I'm fine with it, but it doesn't feel as organic.
It's less stable. That's what it is for me, because I'm holding the top of the blaster and I'm holding the grip.
Yeah,
whereas
so
if
all
it's
the
a
pressure is
shotgun
going
type
in the
grip,
back,
yeah.
So it kind of, with a shotgun, you're having 2 points of stabilization for it.
Yeah,
front
you
and
can
the
really
back.
aim while you're priming
Firing.
the blaster. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, the Retaliator, I've noticed jams are very seldom happening, first off. But they're very easy to clear, too. I can pop out my magazine, I can load up the jam door, and reach in and grab the dart.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times when a new player comes in, they're using a Rampage, and they get a jam, they are the trickiest buggers to try and clear a jam for.
It's true. I don't know. When they do jam, they are terrible. They're like terrible double feeds. Like the dart gets all like twisted around backwards in there. It's been bad. It's been bad. But back in the like End Strike before the Elite line came out, I would recommend the Rampage because it came with a friggin' that
You mean
huge.
the Raider?
I'm sorry, you're right. The Raider because it came with that huge just magazine. You know.
That 35-round drum is so much fun, by
And that was
the
the
way.
only place you could get it, and it was like, well, you can get one of these other blasters that have like a 6, or you can get this 36 or 35, whatever it is.
And that's why I think the Alpha Trooper was just such a good blend for beginners.
Yeah.
Just because it's an 18-round magazine. It's not too big, not too small.
Mm-hmm.
Jams were very infrequent, especially because it was a bottom-loading feeder,
Right.
which I guess is supposed to work better. Is it?
I don't know if it's supposed to work better. I just like it because for me it's easier to mag swap because gravity's going to sort of help you pull those out and throw them up, where in the side it's just kind of funky for
It's
me.
easy to pull down when you're pulling up. It's kind of like two different directions. Side to side, you feel like you're kind of ripping the blaster.
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. It's just...
But recommendations, once again, clip-fed blasters always are going to be a good idea no matter what type of game you're playing. That's why I feel like the Retaliator, and if the rumors are correct, it looks like they're talking about a new version of the Alpha Trooper. That's something I definitely would like to keep my eyes on when that comes out.
Right.
But in the meantime, if you're a beginner, a Retaliator, it's customizable too. You can control if you have a stock, barrel,
I do like
an
that.
extra grip. There are all these accessories you get with it too. So as you build your arsenal, you have all these accessories that Nerf isn't really selling on their own yet.
Yeah.
So it's a great, fantastic starting point if you want to get into Nerf.
Exactly. You can choose what you're doing.
Plus, another note too, I see a lot of new players do this when they first come to games. They don't bring enough darts.
Yes. Yeah. As a new player, seriously, a pack of like 100 or whatever, I think it's 75 for the Elite Series, is like $20. You just go out and buy some darts, mark them up, make sure that they, you know which ones are yours. Don't expect to run with 12 or even get one of those little packs of like 6 or something. Well, I've got 2. I can reload once. Like, that's a bad idea. If you actually want to come and you don't have friends that are like going to loan you extra mags or anything like that, you should really look into getting some magazines. And I mean, again, talk to people, because like at our games, if you're like, well, I don't have mags, we have a ton of 6-round magazines. We could just chuck them your way. Like, here you go. You can use these for the day because nobody uses these. Everybody has gone to the 18s. If you're jumping in and this is your starting point, but you already know, like, I'm really into it, like, it looks so cool, and you want to get those 18-round mags, go for it. Totally recommend it because it's going to make things a lot easier. You're going to have 18 rounds on tap instead of 6. But if not, get some darts and get more than one friggin' magazine, because you are defeating the purpose of having a magazine-fed blaster if you have to drop the clip or the mag and reload it and then put it back in. You might as well have just almost bought that Maverick, because you're going to have to reload. You know what I mean? The extra, that's the whole purpose of the clip system. So,
Yeah, agreed with that. I think the magazines are the easiest way to get more darts because, hey, you're getting an 18-round magazine, plus you're getting 18 darts to go with it. So, hey, you get a refill, plus you get another area to hold your darts while you're running around, too.
Exactly.
Definitely talk to your friends, too. I mean, sometimes your friends might have spare darts you can use, but if you know you like Nerf, like Josh said, if you know you like Nerf and you want to get into it, $20 investment will go a long way for you. And marking your darts, do something original too. I see a lot of people come in and thinking, oh, I've marked my darts with a circle, so I'll know they're mine.
Yeah.
I've seen everyone do the circle dot on the top of their darts.
Yeah.
I'd recommend maybe doing an initial from your name.
Yeah,
maybe
write your name on the side.
Write it on the
down
side,
the side of the dart. It's not that
Use
difficult.
a different colored Sharpie. There are so many ways you can get creative with your darts. Hey, look at it as another way of modification. You see people with these Nerf games, they have painted blasters, they have customized styles for them.
Yeah.
Treat your darts like that.
Yeah, exactly. But definitely that's going to be part of your initial investment. And I mean, I know now we're talking about, we went from, a $15, $20 blaster in the Maverick to about the same with a, Retaliator Rampage, maybe 20, 25, depending on where you get it and what you're getting. And then we're adding, another $20 to $40 on top of it for another 18-round mag and possibly and more darts. One of the other options is if you're just not ready to make that commitment, and I don't remember how much it is off the top of my head, retail, but the Hailfire kit. It comes with 4 or 5?
It comes with 4 magazines, plus enough darts for each magazine. So right there, you're getting 6 times 4 is 24.
Mm-hmm.
So we, on the Nerfcast show, we can do basic math.
Sometimes.
But we're looking at 24 darts. Good number to start with. A lot of magazines so you can swap out as you need to. But at the same time, I still feel like the 18-round magazines, it's less swapping.
It's
but
true.
As far as the new players go, it feels great having more accessories than less.
Right.
So having 4 magazines that are only 6 rounds as opposed to just one big one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you're like, well, I can only afford one or the other, you might say, like, hey, I'd rather have 4 that I can swap quick than have 118 to swap out with the 6 or the 12 that comes with stock with one of those. Or I guess there's a 25 in the Rampage.
The Rampage, yes. I don't want to bring price into it too much, of course, because everyone has different opinions on what's expensive and what isn't expensive.
Exactly.
But the way I look at it, if you're spending, say, $25 on a Retaliator, and then you buy 2 18-round magazines for about $10 each, you'd be looking at about $45, $50 after tax.
Yeah.
For a couple hours of fun. If you look at how much it costs to get a video game, $60.
Yeah.
So $60, you're thinking, you might get 20, 40 hours of entertainment. If you're really enjoying Nerf, then $50 for something you're going to be using all the time is definitely worth it. It'll increase your enjoyment, it'll make you a better player, and it'll more engage you in the sport.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, also do check at thrift shops and stuff, like Goodwills and things like that. Maybe you'll find a blaster that you were going to go buy new, and then boom, a bunch of your cost just got reduced because you just got a blaster for $3 to $5 or something like that.
Or talk to your friends, honestly, because Josh and I, we have so many blasters.
Oh yeah, we would sell them to people. Be like, hey, y'all, you want this? Cool. Or even just to borrow, again, to test and see if you really are into Nerf so you could get your own.
Yeah, or test to see if you like the style of the blaster. For example, say you really like the idea of a long shot. You try it out, it's like, oh, the priming mechanism, I don't like how this works.
Yeah.
It's too much work if you're just getting into Nerf and not playing on modding.
Yeah.
Even though everyone online might say, oh, the long shot will give you the best ranges, especially with the Immortal kit. It's not a friendly newbie blaster. I mean, it's easy enough to use, but it's not as friendly as, say, Retaliator.
Yeah, I've got 2 long shots. I have never used them. I'm not a huge fan of the way that the long shots and even the long strikes prime too much. I like the idea like a bolt action type blaster, but at that point I'd almost rather get the what's the one that you got, that big sniper rifle looking thing?
Oh, that is
Buzzbee.
the Range Master.
Yeah, see, at least that feels like an actual bolt action rifle, and that's pretty cool. If I were going to run a long shot, I would want to mod it and do a shotgun grip, which I eventually plan on doing, but it's one of those things where I just haven't gotten around to it. And if you read online, what's the best Nerf blaster, and people usually say, oh, long shot, hands down.
Range Master.
So you go and get it, and then you're like, oh, this isn't what I was expecting, and I don't like this or that.
And that's the thing, too, when you're going to a game. It's kind of... it used to be worse than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to go in, unfortunately, with the expectation that your blaster is not going to perform as well as other people's. And that's mainly because people who have been playing the sport for a long time spend a lot of time modding their blasters, testing their ranges, practicing with them. So when we were first playing, a difference between, say, an Alpha Trooper modded, Orange Modworks modded blaster as opposed to like a stock blaster, you'd be talking like 20, 30 feet as opposed to like 60 feet.
It was huge.
It was a big difference. The darts were more accurate, and the players who came in with just new blasters felt incredibly gimped because of this.
Yeah.
They felt there was no way to compete. And luckily now with the Elite Series, ranges have averaged out more. You're seeing more like 60 feet from a stock blaster and 90 to 100 feet from a modded one, where of course the modded one is going to be better, but you still have a competitive advantage at least.
Yeah, exactly.
But do go in with that expectation that people might have a blaster that looks like it's the same as yours, but it's getting better distances. Don't get frustrated.
Yeah, don't get discouraged either that people have blasters that are performing way better than yours, because I'm sure they've spent a lot of time, and effort making them work the way that they do. That's one of the things, like Shawn was saying, it's gotten a lot better with the Elite Series because that gap is getting much smaller. But I think that's one of the reasons why we've stuck to a more stock game type in ours, just because we don't want it to be such a drastic difference between players that people are just discouraged. Like when we first started going and people had they were running Ravens, right? Mm-hmm. With like trust fires in them, and all the people that went in like blasters and had these like stock things were just like, this isn't even fair. They're sitting there like, zip, 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 zip. I just shot like, all of my 18 rounds at you in a matter of seconds, and they're going twice as far as your blaster, who could only get like 2 shots off. And
are these repressed feelings right now, Josh?
No, I'm just saying people were like, I remember people coming up and being like, this is just stupid. Like, we can't even compete at this level. It was like, yeah. Now with the Elite Blaster, it's like, okay, well, we've found sort of that middle ground. I didn't care, dude. I had an Orange Modworks in mine.
I know. I know you're not
which
mad.
broke on the first day. But I mean, I really remember people going like, wow, these are so good. And then I was like, no, they're not. I mean, they're good, but
to balance it out, because I think Josh was talking about me, because I think I was the first one to come to our games with a modded Raven.
It wasn't just you. There were 2 on the field.
Who was the other person?
Kimball had a modded Raven.
Did he?
Yeah.
That was a couple games after me, though.
Yeah, I'm just talking about all those.
Yeah,
I'm not saying like the first time you brought it, because at that point I don't think people were complaining to it. It was just like, wow, that's really good.
Okay.
When there were multiple Ravens
I
out there.
feel better now. I thought people were complaining about me and nobody told me.
No, it wasn't about the players. It was just like, wow, these guns, like, they feel broken because they're just so good compared to what we're running right now.
I remember one of our players one time, he was hiding like a boss in a crevice where the person didn't even see him. He ran by, the person didn't see the guy that was hiding. The guy ran by him, got about 10, 15 feet away before the guy turned around and tried to shoot him, and it wasn't accurate enough to get the shot off.
Yeah, and 15 feet.
10, 15 feet, and he felt so bummed out. It's like, what's the point of even playing if I can't hit anyone unless I want to spend the time and effort to mod blasters? Whereas initially as a player, it might seem like a big challenge. It's kind of like when you're getting into, like, say, a trading card game.
Yeah.
Your deck's going to suck when you first start playing unless you feel like spending a bunch of money
and time
getting up to the same level as the competitive players.
Right.
So just go in with that kind of expectation that maybe your blaster won't be as good. But there is another good feature about this: your role as a player.
I mean, and this is again where talking to people comes in, and we say role as a player because sometimes in Nerf games there's really that distinguishable roles. There's like a somebody who comes in and is just with a hailfire, maybe like, hey, what are you going to be doing? We need somebody to just lay cover fire down. Cool. Does somebody have a hailfire, or should I look into investing in a hailfire or something that's just going to be like just laying down cover fire? Or do you want somebody who, should I get a Panther and mod it so that I'm getting like good ranges or something like that, or maybe borrow somebody's something that's getting a better range than just a stock blaster? Or do they need somebody who's built for speed? Maybe you only want to carry 1 or 2 magazines on you, and maybe you just want a Night Finder, who knows? So you can just run like full speed and like grab flags and take them back while everybody else protects you. Depending on the game types that you're playing, they might be looking for a player that has a certain play style or fills a certain role.
Exactly. And not even necessarily from a blaster perspective. Like Josh mentioned, if you're built for speed, you can be a runner. For capture the flag, that's great. Human versus zombie, speed is always going to be great.
Yeah.
But there's some people who are great at hiding, great at sneaking around.
Yeah.
One of my friends that we play with, Josh's friend too, actually. We share friends, believe it or not. He every time we win a game and we're both on the same team, he's like, I took a bullet for you.
Exactly.
He plays the bodyguard where he knows that there's a player better than him. He'll take the shot for him so he can get away, or just basically be a distraction.
Right.
So basically, what you bring to the table besides your blaster is going to be very important. I can tell you more often than not, if you're a fast player, you're going to be valued no matter what.
Yeah.
Because in the end, with Nerf, these blasters, no matter how great the ranges are, they're dodgeable. You can dodge these bullets. They're going on a set trajectory. They can only go so fast because of wind and other conditions. They're not going to be as accurate. So it's very easy as a player to even outrun the ranges on them.
Oh, yeah.
If you have enough of a lead on someone, you just start serpentining or just start busting straight forward, they're not going to be able to hit you.
Yeah, or I mean, you know, someone's out of ammo and you start chasing them down while they're trying to reload. I've done that. I've done that, like, oh, they're out of ammo, like, just rush up on them and start firing. You know?
Yeah, it's all dependent on your play style, but definitely there's something you can bring to the table in that sense. As I mentioned, hiding is amazing, especially in Nerf, because a lot of people tunnel vision. They're looking at the objective, they know where one player is, they'll start moving ahead without checking their surroundings. You find a nook, a cranny, a crevice, hide behind a tree, underneath a log.
Oh, yeah.
And just get the jump on them. Because honestly, if they're not expecting the shot, you're right next to them and you hit them.
Oh, yeah.
A, it's an awesome feeling. It feels amazing when you get those shots off. But B, it's going to throw them off. It's effectively kind of like having a sniper in real life where you don't know where the shot's going to come from, but you know someone on this field is hiding, waiting to get you.
Oh, yeah. Those guerrilla tactics are awesome. And I've seen them utilized so many times where it's hilarious and it's so cool to see, like someone pops around a corner, like slowly checking, like, you know, to the left or to the right or whatever, like expecting someone to be right at the end of that corner, and they're like in a bush on the other side or something, and they're just like, they come up right behind them and almost like can tap them and just like thunk, you're dead. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed you. I was looking the exact opposite way because you're expecting someone to be down that corner or around something, and they're just like hiding like right next to you or right behind you. I've seen people walk up slowly behind someone while they were firing around a corner and just tag them, and it was hilarious.
Or if it's a group of people, that's when it feels really good. When you get the drop on, like one time I was sneaking up behind two people. Both of them were so focused ahead of them on the people firing them, I just slowly crept up.
Yeah.
Got behind them. Got about a foot behind them. It was like clink, clink.
Yeah.
Got both of them, and I was like, God, that was fun.
Right? I've seen that happen so many times. So, I mean, there's a lot of different elements you can bring to the table. Really look at yourself and say, like, how am I going to fit in? You know what I mean? What do I want to accomplish in Nerf? I mean, obviously you want to shoot other people, but like, how is the best, most efficient way to utilize the resources that you have that are yourself to do that?
Yeah, and build on prior experience, too. If you played soccer, baseball, football, any sport, you kind of know already what kind of stuff you're going to be good at.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you good at blocking? Are you good at running? Can you strategize? You know, what is it you feel you're strong? And of course, don't try and implant yourself into a role just because you think you're good at it.
Right, exactly.
Because oftentimes, if you're playing with a group that plays all the time, they might have kind of a machine going for how they know how they want their teams to work. But definitely bring it up. Don't force yourself to say, I'm really fast, so I want to be the runner, and then it turns out you do like a 10-minute mile.
Yeah, exactly. There's always people that might be better than you. So if you go in and say you're doing like capture the flag, a lot of times if you've got a team, it'll be like, all right, this many people stay back and you're going to guard, and this many people are going to push to try and get their flag, or maybe you've got to set up like soccer where you've got people midfield and everything. So, you know, just say like, hey, I'm new. Put me in all the different roles so we can find out what I'm good at. Even if you already think like, I'm good at this, well, cool. You know, you might want to say like, oh, I have prior experience doing this to sort of push them that direction, but I wouldn't come out and be like, yeah, I'm really good at this, and maybe there's somebody that's better than you. But have them at least say like, hey, can I try out all the different roles, you know what I mean? So that I can get a feel for everything, see which one suits me best, so you guys know where to put me, so you can utilize me. And then boom. you know?
Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of players initially, when they come into a game, they just want to sit back, kind of watch everyone do things.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine and dandy, but because a Nerf war is so chaotic and so many things are going on, it's really hard to absorb just by standing back, say being on defense, being on top of a flag or a point.
Yeah.
Watching, just get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to get shot. It's a Nerf pistol. It's not going to hurt. Your team's not going to mind. You're a new player.
Yeah.
Just feel free to take risks. See what works, what doesn't work, and as long as you're learning and growing, I think that's what anyone would really ask for.
Yeah, exactly. They if they want more than that, then I don't know, find new people to play with or something.
Yep. Start your own group.
Start your own group.
Listen to our podcast where we teach you how to start a Nerf group of your own.
Right.
Give us the views / listens.
So the other thing, and a lot of this we just keep saying, and it's almost we're kind of sound like broken records, and some of them are just very simple with talking to whoever's hosting. But where are you going to be nerfing? Because that's something that you want to think about, and we've talked about this before in podcasts, so I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. But, you know, if you're nerfing out in the woods, you might want that ankle support, and you might not want to wear, like, you know, certain colors. Maybe if you want to try, you're like, yeah, I'm really good at blending in and, like, hiding, like Shawn was talking about, maybe you might want to wear some earthy colors and not, like, something that's going to stand out more. You playing at a college, you know, maybe wear something that sort of blends in more with an urban environment. Yeah. Or if you're playing at a college like an HVZ type game, or maybe there's going to be other people around that are not playing Nerf, and you're going to try to blend in with them, like, dude, wear like school colors. Find like if you go to that school and you have like a shirt like from, you know, one of their sports or something, like, put that on, dude, wear it and try to blend in, you know, why not? So really, it's just ask where you're going to be nerfing, look at the environment and see what you can utilize, and know beforehand, just because, again, you might want ankle support, you might want this, you might want that. Are you going to be outside? You might want sunblock, you know, you might want a hat. Is it going to be cold? If you're indoors, then you don't have to worry about it. So just sort of a quick tip that you would think a lot of people would think about, but you'd be surprised how many people have come to games and been like, oh, man, like, I'm getting sunburnt, or I'm really cold now, I didn't bring a jacket, or, oh, I brought flip-flops, you know. Just a quick note, because we always talk about it, but as a first-time player, it's something you should just think about.
Yeah, we always just want to reinforce that.
Mm-hmm. So we talked about your role as a new player. I guess modding blasters?
Modding blasters a little bit. If you're a new player, it's, like I said, it's kind of overwhelming to look at the time and effort and money people put into it. Mm-hmm. And it's oftentimes scary just going into a new blaster. I know the first time I tried to mod my own Alpha Trooper, I was in there, I'm like, I don't know what any of these parts do. I don't want to mess it up and have it so I can't put it back in the same place. It was intimidating, especially because the kit I used basically came with like 5 lines of instructions that fit on a card. Mm-hmm. So I felt like, okay, it says replace this piece. I don't know what that piece is.
Right.
It was like, put the O-ring over here, and I'm like, what's an O-ring and what's this part? I don't know what these things are. Can I have pictures?
Yeah.
And so I had to go online, look up pictures, and it's a time investment.
Yeah, and I mean, when we talk about new players, it's not even just like this is your first game, and maybe you've gone to a couple, you're still new, you want to get into modding. And I mean, we're not going to profess to be expert modders or anything like that. We've done like a couple of quick and easy dirty mods. I would suggest of course, is watching videos. There's so many resources online where people have tutorials up, either in video or just picture format, that explain everything. And it's nice. It's right there. You can pause, or you can just look at it and be like, oh, that's what this thing is. Like, I even look at pieces and I'm like, yeah, I read what that was. I don't remember what it's called, but it needs to leave. Mm-hmm. Or I need to put something on here or take it out. So you can look and say, like, all right, cool, this is what it looked like before, this is what it looks like afterwards. So if at any step you get confused, you can go right back, put everything back in the order it needs to be in. As far as like kits and stuff, we sort of have like a love-hate relationship with Orange Mod Works. And I think a lot of people are either one way or the other. I'm sort of on the fence. I don't know. I have had good and bad experiences with their products.
See, the problem is Josh was traumatized at a very young age by an Orange. No, I think he mentioned it earlier, too, that the first game he went out, he had an Alpha Trooper. He got the Orange ModWorks Massacre Kit.
Yes.
Put it in, and how soon was it? Like within the first hour, halfway through the day?
Yeah, it was like less than half a day of nerfing. It was like 2 or 3 games in. It broke. And I don't mean like something slipped, like they have a, I don't even, see, this is where I'm going to be like, parts, names, but they've basically, what the Massacre Kit is it has a new spring and some new, some metal parts, and then a bunch of polycarb parts that are supposed to be stronger than the stock stuff. And some of the polycarb that I had just shattered. I mean, I never ended up taking it back to Orange ModWorks or complaining or anything. I was just like, it was probably something I did when I put it together. I ended up putting a bunch of the stock parts back in and just basically leaving the metal stuff and the spring. And that has worked out fine since then. I found like more air was getting through on some of my stock parts that I drilled out as opposed to the Orange ModWorks stuff anyway. So in a weird way, it ended up all working out fine. Orange ModWorks, what I think is great about them is that...
I like how that sounded like a question. What I think is great about them?
Yeah, I'm asking myself.
Is this?
I mean, you can go on their website and be like, boom, I want a kit for this gun or for this blaster, and it's there. You don't have to be like, cool, I need a K26 spring. I don't know what that is or where I get them.
I need to go on this site called McMaster. Apparently I have to order 10 of them. I'm not even sure if this is the right one.
Now I got to cut it down.
You won't tell me how much shipping is?
Yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, some of the other stuff, really cool if you want to get into it. I think that for first-time modders, beginners, Orange ModWorks is an invaluable resource. They're not always the most reliable.
I think they're good when they ship you all the parts.
Yeah.
So recently they came out with a kit for their Retaliator, and they shipped it to me. I'm like, great, I'm going to install this right now. I'm so excited. So I open her up, get the spring in there.
Now, no. Yeah, Shawn, we both pre-ordered this.
We both pre-ordered this. The difference was I was talking to Josh about this. I'm like, hey, I'm really excited, and me being a little bit of a jerk, I'm like, I want to get this before any of my friends gets it. I want to be the first person on the block to have this kit come in. So I paid for the special shipping and handling. I pre-ordered it to make sure I was getting it early, too.
Yep.
Josh pre-ordered it, paid normal shipping. We both received it on the same day.
Yeah.
So even though I ended up paying a couple bucks more for my shipping, no real benefit.
I mean, we live down the street from each other, like, pretty much.
Yeah, we're about a 5-minute drive from each other.
It was like deluxe shipping, like 2-day or whatever, for like $5 more or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the kit comes, this is the real kind of feather in the cap for the situation. I don't think that's the right word I'm looking for. The real hit the nail on the head.
It was...
To drive the point home, the kit comes in, and I open it up, pour out the parts. I'm like, cool, I'm so excited. Open up my blaster. So, okay, here's the catch.
This is how blind with, like, joy he is, like a kid on Christmas. Like, I'm going to pour everything out. I'm going to open up my blaster and start putting it in.
Yeah, I didn't even look at all the parts. So I open up, install everything, and I'm like, okay, and the spring. I look on the table, I'm like, okay, here's my old spring. Where's the spring? Okay, I must have dropped it on the floor. It must have rolled off. Look around, don't see it. Like, okay. Let's spend a second really thinking about this. So this kit is supposed to improve performance. There are 2 main parts of the kit. One, to reinforce your part so it handles a stronger spring. And 2, the spring. So I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, this is a kitchen table. There's nothing else on the table. My workspace is clear. Where's the spring? And then I look, I'm like, they didn't send it to me. This kit that I paid extra money to receive before my friends that came the same day now doesn't have a spring, which means I can't even use it before my friends. They're beating me to the punch. So
you paid extra money for less.
I paid more for less, right?
There you go.
Isn't that what America's all about?
I called him like the same night. I was like, dude, I got my Orange ModWorks kits in. Oh, like it works awesome.
I think I texted Josh back a middle finger.
I mean, I didn't know that he didn't have a spring. He's just like, oh, it was hilarious.
It does say something about me, though, that I opened the box, got everything in there. Don't even bother to check for all the parts in there.
Right.
But yeah, I sent Orange ModWorks a spring, and they're like, I sent them an email about the spring, and they responded back, hey, we're sorry this happened. You know, sometimes with new production, stuff just goes missing. We'll send you a new spring. And I'm like, cool, at least they're sending me a spring.
Yeah.
Thank you for providing me what I paid for.
Yeah, I mean,
after the fact.
That did kind of suck because it was like, wow, you paid extra shipping to get it sooner, got it the same time, missing parts, and instead of them being like, well, let us at least like maybe refund some of your
here's a
your
10%
shipping.
off a next order and stuff
yeah,
like that.
I don't even think they sent you like a coupon or anything, or like a free extra metal trigger or something.
Yeah, because during the holidays, they give out all these deals, coupons, buy 2 metal triggers, get the third one free or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of a bummer that they're like, okay, we're sorry this happened. We'll provide you with what we promised you and nothing more after the fact.
Yeah.
Which I guess realistically, I mean, if I was a scammer, maybe I'm using this to get extra springs or something like that.
That's true.
But, I mean, they even said these things happen in new runs, so apparently they've been receiving these complaints before.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would have said, that's a very odd situation, we're sorry, we'll send you the spring. They're like, no, this happens. I'm like, that's not what I want to hear.
Yeah,
If I go to Best Buy and buy a TV, I don't want to hear, oh yeah, they just stop working sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sometimes they come without the power plug.
Well, the other thing about Orange Mod Works is they're sort of... They take their time with things, and that's good and bad. Like, for some of the Retaliator springs and stuff, I'm like, all right, I understand it's going to take you a little bit to get these kits out, because you don't want to just release a spring. And I think they did actually just release the spring at first. You could get that, and then they released Stage 1 or whatever. But
I know you could buy the springs separately, like a couple websites and like blogs were releasing the springs for individual sale after they figured out what the right one was.
Right. But people who have like long shots have been waiting for that long shot kit forever. There were people that pre-ordered this thing like a year plus ago because they announced it, and then they were like, oh, we've had problems with some of the parts, we're going to go back, we want to make sure it's perfect. And that sounds really good, but you can only perfect a product so much, and then you have Duke Nukem Forever. I mean, they're like, yeah, we're finally getting these shipped out. I'm like, dude, I know people that like pre-ordered these so long ago, and whether they're good or not is like, there's other things on the market you can get. There's other springs and other kits. There's like Exploder and freaking I forget the name of the other one, but there's different things you could do, and it was just so long. And now with the Elite series out, it was just like, really, man? You're really finally getting these things? And people prepaid for this stuff. It's not like, oh, you know, I put an investment down.
I put $5 down, or I put my name on a list.
And it wasn't a cheap kit. It wasn't like a $20 Retaliator kit. It was like friggin' $50, something like that. Maybe even $100. I don't remember what it was. It was just expensive, like stupid expensive. And I was like, wow, I would have to see the reviews on this before I get one. And now here it is, like a year or two later. I'm like, I'm finally gonna get to see the reviews on this. And they barely, I think, finished. They shipped out the pre-orders in like a couple of different big shipments. So I still don't even think you could go and buy it and expect to have it, because they have to like do a second run of them or something like that. So again, sort of a love-hate thing. If it's your first mod, it's a good place to go to just look up your blaster. Like, boom, here's the blaster. It has the spring I want and any parts that are necessary to reinforce it.
It's definitely more user-friendly than trying to go and buy the parts individually.
Yes.
We mentioned buying springs and stuff like that from, say, McMaster.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of people go to buy their individual springs. But what's tricky about them is it's usually in a set quantity. You can't just buy one spring.
Right.
And you don't know what the shipping will be until after you place the order.
And since they're not a Nerf shop, it's not like this is the spring that goes for, you know, a Night Finder, a spring for this. It's like a K26. You know, I mean, these springs are not made for Nerf. They're made for other things. People have just found that they work and have adapted them. And there's a lot of resources online. If you look up, like, how do I modify this? People will say, use a K this spring or this spring from McMaster. Cool. Are you going to buy like 10 of them? If not, you got to find a dude who's maybe selling extras because he bought a bunch and now he's trying to make some of his money back. By selling the extra ones that he has, or people that just mod out guns and just sell blasters already. So Orange Mod Works are definitely, I think, invaluable. I think they're cool that they give pretty detailed instructions with how to put their stuff together as well.
Despite what I've gone through with them, I would still definitely buy their products.
Yeah. I would just, you know, instead of buying their super deluxe kits, I would maybe get like a stage 1. I don't think you really need more than that. I've looked at, like I said, their polycarb stuff. I just kind of like, I got it. I played with it. It wasn't I didn't feel like, wow, my blaster's improved so much. I felt like, well, there's a little bit of improvement, but really that spring was what I needed, and then the parts to reinforce that spring. So and once you get into modding, like if you want to get into it more hardcore, there's of course a ton of things you can do. You can start doing integrations and just a ton of different stuff. There's tutorials for how to just paint your blasters if that's all you want to do. Maybe you just want to paint them. But there's resources. It's something that once you get into Nerf, you will probably consider at some point is, hey, I want to start modding. I want to do this and that. Online resources. Yep, and even just reaching out to friends sometimes too. Like, if you have a buddy who's done mods before, having them over to help you out can help out the process a lot, where they can point out in person and explain, we need to put this part here. This is what this part does. I know sometimes when I open my blasters, I'm like, I have no idea what this part does, so I'm just not going to touch it. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I leave locks in there, and it ends up working out better. Yeah.
Sometimes I'll look at these and say, okay, so I want to get rid of this lock because it's pointless, but these ones work out better. I know with the Alpha Trooper that actually popped up where I left one of my locks in for priming, and what happens now is when I prime all the way, it locks in and I can just fire.
Right.
With some of the other Alpha Troopers I've seen, once you take that out, if you're, say, trying to angle the shot, which a lot of people do when trying to get ranges, you can see the little priming handle slide down a little bit.
And then you can't fire.
Yeah,
that's what happened to me when I first did mine. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, you have to hold the priming mechanism forward or else it won't fire. And, I mean, because a lot of people online are just like, take out every single lock.
Just take it out. I want full control of my blaster.
And I mean, if you like that, that's cool. If you don't, that's cool too. It's all your own personal preference.
Right, but having someone there with you who could say, like, okay, well, maybe my personal preference, this is what I encountered with this blaster, so leave this lock in, take out those two locks. This part is important. You can slide it out this way. Yeah. Just all these tips on how to do it. Having a guide online is probably going to be the most common resource for everyone, and it's a good resource. Mm-hmm. But nothing beats having someone there in person who actually knows what they're doing. So if you have friends, if you make friends at these Nerf games, reach out to them. Talk to them. Yeah. They love talking Nerf if they're anything like us, so they won't mind helping you out.
Yeah. I mean, again, a lot of things, there's never going to be a more valuable resource than the people that you meet that are also into the same thing that you're into. So people who are into Nerf, they're going to, just talk to them. They'll give you tips and tricks. They're generally very eager to share their knowledge. Actually, that leads to just one other quick point. And we've talked about this before, too, is gear. And you can listen to our other podcasts where, you can get gear that does this or that or this or that.
Going to Army surplus stores, ordering online.
Exactly. Again, it's a talk to people in the area, in the game that you're going to be playing in. They might have specific recommendations based on some of the games that they play. But before you go to your first game, it's something you want to think of. Even if you don't have gear, think about your setup. You know what I mean? You've got some extra magazines. Do they fit in your pocket? Do they fit in these pants? Is this even if your gear is nothing more than your clothing? Think about it. Do I want to run this shirt or these pants? Do I want to have a cargo pocket to put things in? Do I want a pouch? Even if you don't go and buy an expensive dump pouch, maybe you've got a fanny pack sitting around. Just unzip it and you can put some extra darts in there so you can load up, or you can clean up and put darts in that fanny pack. There's a lot of different things where, again, talking to people is going to be very invaluable, and once you're into it more, you might want to just upgrade things. But it's something to think about. I've seen, again, so many people come and I'm wearing flip-flops or I'm wearing shorts, they don't have any pockets. Well, cool. I guess you're running one mag, dude, because I don't know what to tell you. I don't have a place for it. Maybe you're like, well, I've only got one extra mag. Let's duct tape them together so I have one of those flip clips instead of buying the actual one that Nerf sells. Mm-hmm. Cool, do it. But at least that shows that you thought about it beforehand. You didn't get on site and it's like, I don't know what to do. I'm not prepared at all. I got a Nerf blaster.
And heck, that's what this podcast is about. We don't want to make you feel bad for being a new player, because there's a lot of confusing new stuff. Mm-hmm. So take our advice. Listen to us. We basically want your success to be our success. We want to make sure that you're having fun when you go to games, that you're having a blast. You don't feel underpowered. You don't feel lost. You kind of know what to expect when going into a Nerf game.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of the gear I've picked up throughout my
Nerf career.
Yeah, as long as it's been. It's been recommendations from other people. My holster came from one friend. Josh recommended some good pants that are stop rip. Is that what they're called?
Whatever.
Rip stop,
whatever.
GameStop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tear resistant, rip resistant, whatever they call them.
Yes. I have a lot of gear for holding all my magazines, but honestly, from certain recommendations, I can be like, hey, if you're this tall, a magazine's not going to fit in your back pocket properly.
Yeah, and I mean, you might play games where, like, I know some people use, like, a lot of HVZ games and stuff where they're like, oh, like a rolled up sock is like a grenade. Okay, well, me on my setup, since we don't normally do that, if I went to a game like that, I'd have to be like, I need to figure out where to put those if I'm going to carry them around, you know? Do I have a bag? Do I stuff them in a pocket? Do I have, like, a bandolier? And maybe somebody's like, oh, well, we usually just put them in, like, this thing and have it, like, over here, like, on your side. And I'd be like, oh, that's a great idea. Like, cool, you guys have been doing this and I haven't, so obviously you have some tips for me. But that's what I mean, like, you might think, well, you're playing Nerf. You obviously need whatever you need for Nerf. Like, no, it's so drastically different depending on A, what you want to do, and B, the type of game.
Yes.
Like we said, if you want to be maybe you're really fast and you're like, I'm just going to carry a couple extra shots, boom, just carry a Night Finder or something small and run around all the time. You know, that might be your thing. Run a Jolt or a Triad. Who knows? You know, you got to find what you enjoy and then sort of just keep building on it from there.
Yeah, exactly what Josh said. When you're going to a game, understand that maybe you're not going to know exactly what works out at first, but the more you play, the more you're going to evolve into an experienced player. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take that much to get up and running with Nerf, but hey, give yourself a couple games just to get used to it, try it out.
Yeah, there's always room to grow too. So
even if you don't think you have fun during your first Nerf game, I still encourage you to go to one more, just because you'll have more of an expectation of what you're going into. Mm-hmm. It's always hard and difficult trying new things, new jobs, new activities. I say with anything, just give it a couple chances.
Yeah.
I think my mom said once that when you're trying a new food, sometimes it takes 3 times eating that food before you actually get accustomed to the taste and like it. Mm-hmm. Same with Nerf. Like, maybe you're hooked from your first go. Maybe you're kind of like on the fence about it, not sure if you're liking it. Try out one more game. Give it one more shot. If you don't like it then hey, maybe Nerf's not for you. But I almost guarantee, odds are, if you play more than one game, knowing what you're knowing from the first game, you're going to go in and have a good time. Yeah.
You're going to know what to expect, and you're going to be prepared, and you're going to go in with the mindset that, like, this is what I'm going to do to have fun this time that I didn't do last time. Hopefully. You know? As with anything. I think that's really it. Do you have any advice for new players? Or questions? Or ideas for something that you want us to talk about on the podcast? Hit us up. You know, comment. We've got like a million places you could go to. You could comment on YouTube. You can comment on Podbean. You can comment on the blog. You can comment on our Facebook. You know, leave a video response if you want. Email us. Tweet us. I think we have a Twitter.
We do.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever... I don't tweet. I'm not the tweeter.
I'm the Twitterer.
Twitterer.
And I'm doing a bad job of it. But I do like the idea of leaving a video response to a podcast.
That's true. Leave a video response to this audio. Hey, we're on YouTube, whatever.
We are.
You know what?
So what you got to do is, if you want to do a video response, I don't want to see your face. I don't want to see your face. A, because you're probably ugly. But B, no, I'm joking. I'm joking. I say that because I'm so hurt on the inside.
Yeah, he's not the prettiest guy you'll ever meet. I mean, ever. He's not Brad Pitt or Johnny Depp or that other guy who's like hot now.
Michael Bolton.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah. I like
Lonely Island.
I'm tearing up over here. I'm just so sad. Josh is laughing because he's looking in my eyes and he can actually see the water in them.
Oh, that sorrow. It tastes so delicious.
Tastes so good. Some people wait a lifetime. But definitely respond to us. We always love feedback from our podcasts. We always love new ideas. We love hearing out from new people, old people.
Yeah.
Middle-aged people, not so much. I'm sorry, you guys just got to find your own way. But we love the feedback. If you are going to do video response, what I was trying to say before is come up with your own creative icon and then just do that.
Yeah, you don't have to film yourself or anything like that. Do what we do.
No. I'm telling them that they cannot film themselves.
Don't listen to this guy.
They have to be a certain level of creative before they can even touch us. So that we can steal their ideas.
There we go. as always, guys, we appreciate all of the likes, the views, the subscriptions, all the comments, and all the feedback. Yeah, that's it. Until next time, guys.
This is Shawn.
And Josh. Happy nerfing.